I have received word through the Sons of Elrond and the Wandering Companies telling of your valor at Fornost. You are to be commended for your skill and daring.
Have you heard anything of Aragorn? He was desperately searching for a certain hobbit when we parted at Bree.
All I know is that Aragorn is rumored to have left Bree in the company of 4 hobbits of the Shire. I can only assume one of them is the hobbit he was seeking, and that they are now bound for Rivendell. There is worse news, however. On the night before they departed, the Prancing Pony Inn came under attack by unknown assailants.
We had yet to make a count of the dead the night you sent us to Aragorn, but I had hoped there would be more survivors.
Some few are away patrolling the borders of the Shire, for even now we must attend to our duty. But sadly, many of those who were wounded in the attack died within days from some evil ailment. Even those whose wounds seemed minor. Perhaps Solana can tell you more.
I am ready for whatever new orders you may have for me. Andriel and Farin have also volunteered their aid. How can we best be of service?
Truthfully, I would be happy for the extra hands. But it is clear to me that you 3 have a greater destiny. You may be needed more urgently elsewhere.
So what would you suggest we do?
I advise you to make your way to Rivendell. Aragorn will be eager to hear news of Agendour, and he may have other tasks for you to perform. For now, the enemy seems to have turned away from the Shire.
Elrond's son suggested much the same thing. Very well. If that is your wish, we will depart for Rivendell.
Perhaps there is something you can do for me on your way.
Gladly. You have but to name it.
I sent 2 of my rangers, Kilaran and Luin, on patrol along the Brandywine River. They should have returned long before now. I am growing concerned for them.
They are both seasoned rangers who have served many years in this region. We can be certain they have not simply lost their way.
From which direction would they be returning?
They were to follow the Brandywine north as far as the Great East Road, and from there to make their way back by passing through the Barrow-downs.
The Downs are just north of our position here.
Then we'll make our way north by way of the Barrow-downs.
Perhaps we will discover some trace of them as we travel.
You have my thanks. I know your skill as a tracker, Aradan. If Luin and Kilaran made it as far as the Downs, you should be able to pick up their trail. Farewell, and safe travels to you all.
Are you hurt? You look well enough to me. If it's healing draughts you need, you can get them from Maradan. I have a dying man on my hands.
Young Elrond is dying? But why? What's wrong with him?
Wrong? I don't really know. His wound is minor, yet his life is slipping away. I fear he is suffering from the Black Breath.
The Black Breath? What is that?
It is some power wielded by the Black Riders, the 9 Nazgul. Their victims are stricken senseless, and without aid, they soon die. I've already lost 3 men to this curse. Elrond is the only victim who yet lives.
But there is still hope. What can we do?
I hardly know. Drawing an arrow, stitching a wound, these things I have done countless times. The Black Breath is something I know only from the old rhymes my teacher taught me.
Tell me this rhyme. Maybe there's some clue there.
It was years ago. Let me think. I believe it ran something like this. When the Black Breath blows, and death's shadow grows, and all lights pass, come Athelas, life to the dying. That's all I can recall.
What is this Athelas the rhyme speaks of?
An herb, commonly known as kingsfoil. It has little medicinal use, though some find it comforting for headaches and other small complaints.
Then there is no harm in trying it with Elrond. Do you have any of this Athelas?
No, I have none. You'll have to forgive me for neglecting to lay up a supply. But you see, no one bothered to tell me that the 9 ring wraiths would rise up from ancient legends to trouble us here. If I had Athelas, don't you think I would have used it by now?
It must grow wild somewhere. I am willing to search for it.
Perhaps you could find some at that. The plant is not native to Middle-earth. It was brought to these shores from lost Numenor, and planted in the lands where our ancestors used to dwell, including the Barrow-downs to the north.
How will I know Athelas should I come across it?
The plant has many long, smooth leaves, but you might best find it by its scent, a sweet, pungent fragrance. The Barrow-downs hold precious few such plants.
My road leads to the Barrow-downs. Should I find Athelas growing there, I will return with a supply.
What do you know of them, Elf?
These tombs were made by the fathers of men in the depths of time. They were sacred to the men of Amon. They too buried their dead here, until their kingdom fell to the Witch King.
These hills have an evil reputation in the folklore of the Shire and Bree. Rangers travel here often without incident. Still, I feel a sense of unease. I must stay alert. Rangers camped here perhaps 2 or 3 days past. These footprints could easily be those of Lewin and Galarin.
Tell where they may have
Excellent.
gone from here.
The tracks lead deeper into the downs.
Then we should follow them. Lead the way, Aragorn.
This is no natural fog. The air has grown so cold. There is an evil will behind this mist. Beware! The dead awake!
Face a Dunedain now!
companion! Quickly!
Let me help you. Come now, dwarf. There are still foes to defeat.
Come on, dwarf. There are still foes to defeat.
That's closer to death than I care to be.
I recognize these signs. A ranger has left the hidden cache here. They still live. I won't give up the search. The undead are upon us!
We strike at once!
now clear.
Some supplies.
Barrow-wights are upon us!
We strike as one!
Servants of the enemy, beware!
Let us stand and fight together!
If I read the signs right, Amon and Clara fought a battle here as well.
This tomb makes my blood run chill.
This is no place for living men. Let's find my friends.
Let's hope we're not too late.
The signs are clear. Rangers were once here. They left some useful items.
strike as one!
Servants of the enemy, beware!
He lives. Can you hear me, Lewin? Awake!
No strength can prevail against this sickness. What good are swords in the face of this plague? What wasn't the name of... Eridan?
Yes, it's me, my friend.
I have been dreaming.
How did you end up in this barrow?
I recall we were making good speed through the downs, eager to return to our friends. But a fog began to rise and it became hard to find our way. We began to hear voices calling to us, as if from far off, else underground. And then, the dead were all around us. We fought them, but then I felt the presence of something else, something stronger, more evil. I saw a shadowy figure seize hold of Kalaran and he fell senseless. Then it came for me. That is all I remember. But if I was brought living into this tomb, then the same would be true for Kalaran. We need to find him.
That's what we intend to do. Are you strong enough to join us?
Yes, I think I can keep up with you.
Let's go before any more dead things decide to turn up.
He's a friend. I cannot.
This is but a cruel trick. Defend yourself.
Face a Dunadan now!
friends slain. Harder still to see his remains desecrated in this manner. But at least now he is at rest. But you, how are you bearing up?
First Black Riders, now Barrow-wights. This is more than men should have to contend with. But where there is life, there is hope. Thanks for your concern, but I will be all right. I owe it to those who have fallen to go on as best I may.
You've been through a terrible ordeal. Perhaps you should come with us to Rivendell. Or we could take you to Bree. It's not far away.
No, I feel my strength returning. I'll soon be myself again. And then I will bear Kalaran's body away from these tainted tombs. He should be buried with the rest of his brothers who fell at Sarn Ford.
That would be fitting. I hope that he will rest in peace. Farewell, Lewin.
Eredon, it is good to see you safe. Eladan and Elro here told us of your actions at Fornost. Such courage and skill brings honor to all the Dunedain.
Indeed. It is an honor to welcome one so brave to my home, and your companions as well.
I am grateful for what you did at Fornost. If Agendaur's forces had joined in the hunt, there is little chance that I and my charges would have made it here to safety.
I'm glad to see you again, Aragorn. You can count on my sword whenever you have need of it. Although I am no wiser as to what this is all about.
I think it is time we told our newfound friends what they have gotten themselves into.
Gandalf, so you are involved in this as well?
Indeed. Wherever there is trouble and strife, and the enemy is stirring, there you will find Gandalf the Grey.
Well then, can you explain why the enemy is so eager to get his hands on a poor little hobbit?
You have more than earned such an explanation. Tell me, what do you know of Isildur's Bane?
Isildur's Bane? That is another name for the Ring of Power.
Quite right. The Ring of Power. The One Ring. The ruling ring. After lying lost and nearly forgotten for centuries, Sauron's ring has once again been found.
Do you mean to say the halfling Aragorn rescued has come into possession of the Dark Lord's ring?
Small wonder the Dark Lord sent his deadliest servants to search for it. What will become of the ring now?
There is no safe resting place for the ring, not even here in Imladris. It is a danger to all who come near to it. There is only one course left to us. The ring must be destroyed.
To do so, the ring will need to be cast into the same fires from which it was forged. Those of Mount Doom, in the land of Mordor. The hobbit, Frodo Baggins, has agreed to take it there.
You're not going to send a hobbit off to Mordor alone.
No, certainly not. A fellowship will be formed. A fellowship of 9. 9 walkers set against Sauron's 9 Black Riders. Among this fellowship will be representatives of all the free peoples of the world. Elves, dwarves, and men. Aragorn and I will both be going.
What can the rest of us do to assist you?
The Nazgul and Agendaur are dire threats. We must learn all we can of their movements before the Fellowship is to depart. Scouts will be sent out in every direction to scour the lands around Rivendell. Your aid in this would be of great service to our cause.
Very well. Where should we start?
Agendaur is our chief concern. Although the Nazgul are powerful foes, our mission here in the north is
wish. Greetings to you, Eridan. I am pleased to welcome you to my home. I had heard your name spoken with praise by Aragorn even before these recent events. You have more than proven the value of his judgment. The Dunedain are often our guests here in Imladris, but I would be pleased if you would consider this house as your home whenever you may have need of it. But I gather you are here for more than an exchange of pleasantries. Do you have questions for me?
I found this scroll at Fornost. I thought it best to bring it to your attention.
A wise decision. This is writ in the black speech of Mordor, a language I will not utter here. It is intended to instruct the reader in the use of dark sorceries.
We encountered orcs at Fornost who used spells against us.
Then it seems this has already been put to use. That is grim news. The Dark Lord is a master of necromancy and other foul sorceries. He has taught these abominations to men in the past, but never, to my knowledge, to orcs.
Then it is good that we captured this from the enemy before it could cause further harm. What will become of it?
I will destroy this scroll, at the very least. But wait, here I discover more. Listen to what is written herein. Scribed by the hand of Agandaur, disciple of the great Lord Sauron, for the empowerment of his servant Wulfrun and those others of his faithful who prove worthy. I will speak no more of these blasphemies, but it does say that this scroll is one of 7 such works.
Who is this Wulfrun the scroll speaks of?
I know not, but whoever he may be, he is certain to be deep in the sway of the Dark Lord, and very likely a powerful sorcerer in his own right. We must be watchful for any sign of his presence in the days ahead.
So 6 more remain. Perhaps we can capture them as well.
That would be a great service to our cause. Should you recover them all, bring them to me, and I will ensure they are destroyed.
I will be certain to do so.
In the meantime, please accept this in appreciation for bringing this matter to my attention. Perhaps it will be of service to you in your travels.
Thank you and farewell for now.
Let me see what you have found. Yes, this is indeed Athelas. Now, according to the old law, all I need to do is add these leaves to boiling water. Let Elrond breathe in these fumes.
Solana. And Eridan as well. How can this be? I thought you were all slain. But no. That was only the dark voices in my dreams. Yet, it was not all a dream, was it?
I am afraid not. But don't concern yourself with that now. You are safe. Solana has saved you.
Mine was the knowledge, but Eridan found the herb that saved you, at great risk to his life.
Then I owe you my life, friend. Please, let me show my appreciation. My weapons were made in Lost Numenor in the distant past. They've been in my family for generations. I want you and your friends to have them now.
A noble gift. Thank you. Rest now, and recover your strength. Farewell to you both.